All right, so Dr. Lyon, how long have you been covering Southern Miss football?
I came here in 1995, fresh out of fellowship. My senior partner, Dr. Rouse, hired me mainly to help with, initially to help with baseball, because I had done, I'd done a fellowship with the Pittsburgh Steelers, so I knew about football, but I'd also done a lot of shoulder training, which was really not in vogue when he was training, and he needed help with baseball. So I ended up here, and he was nice enough to let me jump in with both feet, doing everything. So from day one, I've been doing this since 1995. I was the assistant team physician for about 10 years, and then after that took over as the head physician and been there ever since.
I enjoy being a part of the athletics. I enjoy taking care of the kids and kind of getting to know them a little bit. I think that's a big part of it. You meet these guys as they go through, and girls, and you get to know them, and as the seasons go on, you kind of see how they grow and mature, and hopefully they don't get injured, but if they do, I'm here for them, here to take care of them and do what I can to, get them back out there on the field and, let them do what they like to do.
A lot of it's fun, but it's a little more intense than the clinic because everyone's kind of watching what happens, especially for a player that's a key starter or a key player in the game. When he goes down, everyone's looking, is he coming back? They start asking you questions. You got to kind of keep it private and treat the problem at hand. We have a lot of help. The trainers are really good. They're good in isolating us. Sometimes we'll take them back. They'll do x-rays. And the clinic, we have a lot of help, so that makes it easy.
Oh, it's fun. It's exciting. There's a lot going on, and you're right there at the action. I just try to do my best to stay out of the big guy's way and they don't step on me.
What's the over-under on your toe getting stepped on?
Oh, it's probably 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4, yeah. I'm gonna start wearing steel-toe boots, I think.
What's the biggest difference between treating a patient on the sideline and in the clinic?
Well, in the clinic, it's pretty controlled. You're in the, a nice air-conditioned room with a calm patient and on a nice, place to examine. On the field, you've got 25,000 people looking over your shoulder, and you a lot of times, wrestling around huge, sweaty football players who think their career is over and won't calm down. But basically, it's the same. Sometimes it's actually better for me as the clinician to be on the field and see the injury actually happen, because a lot of times when I'm seeing somebody in the office who maybe is a week or two out from where they hurt themselves, I'm trying to get a history and I really don't have a good picture. So actually, for me as a clinician, it's actually the best situation to be in.
I don't think it's a lot different than a normal clinic. It's just you're making decisions with an injury as to whether or not somebody can participate any longer. That's probably the biggest thing. That's different. When someone might get hurt, you have to decide if they can go back onto the field and play, and if it's safe to do so. With the help of the athletic trainers and other people there on the sidelines, we can make those decisions. Whereas in the clinic, it's not as quick of a decision that probably has to be made. So I think that's probably the biggest difference.
The noise and trying to keep the player focused. A lot of times the players are all wound up, they're hurt, they have his buddies coming to visit, and you're trying to ask him questions and examining him. It's kind of different. Oh, it's fun. A lot of camaraderie. Most of the orthopedists are frustrated ex-athletes, so we like it.
What's it like working with an elite athlete?
I don't know, it's just different. Like, for the average person, you would think, it will take 12 weeks. And then by 8 weeks, you're looking at them thinking, I think they're healed enough, but I don't want them to hurt themselves and ruin their comeback. But they really do seem to heal quicker.
It's different in the sense of, you're kind of seeing patients live. You're seeing the injury that happens exactly a lot of times when it happens, but ultimately it's really the same. You're still treating the injury, you're still treating the player, the patient. It's just a little bit more hands-on and in an acute setting.
Does this remind you of being with the Texans a little?
Yeah, definitely very similar, a lot of similarities. A lot of medical providers, a lot of all hands on deck trying to keep these players healthy and get them ready for the game they've been practicing and working on all week for.
What are the similarities between practicing here and then in the clinic?
Well, we really run it the same way. We come over here every week and see all the athletes from whatever sport is having an issue. We have our own setup with an office and an x-ray here, and then we basically do exactly the same thing we would do in the office, to be honest. We travel with the team when they go out of town for football, especially since it's a contact sport, but There's really very little difference. You know, our head trainer here is great. Todd McCall is probably the best athletic trainer I've ever worked with, and it's nice to work with somebody you trust implicitly, who kind of sometimes is there when you can't be, and that's a real nice luxury to have. You know, Southern Miss is very lucky to have a guy like that here, and I am too. He makes my job much easier.
It's pretty similar. I mean, we have basically our own clinic here at Southern Miss. That's the advantage. We just basically have moved almost everything we have at the clinic to this location. So Southern Miss has its own training room with treatment. We've got weight room. We've got all the rehab potential. We've got x-ray, fully digital x-ray, essentially a physical therapy department here at the school. And so we've got exam rooms. We've got, you know, injections, medication. We can write prescriptions and get them filled here at the school. So you know, it's like having our own clinic here on campus. I think it keeps you up to date on athletes, and as athletic injuries sometimes change and evolve, athletes get bigger, faster, stronger. I think that sometimes you have to stay on top of your game a little bit more.
Very well equipped here. They have you know, all the essential things that you need to take care of the player, whether it's an acute injury, splints, bandages. They have x-ray, so they have diagnostic capabilities. If you think there's a fracture or need to get something looked at, then we have that capability. So really everything you need to at least make an initial assessment and either treat right then or decide you may need to do something further down the line.
What's your prediction?
Eagles win by 13, and hopefully it's an uneventful game. Eagles to the top.
Southern Miss to the top by at least 30.
The best game for me is one where I don't have to do a lot of work. So I'm hoping for an uneventful game for the team doctors. To the top.
We're getting better, and it's just a matter of kind of letting Coach Hall have time to get his players where he wants them. We're kind of working our way up the ladder, and every year, every season, we're getting a little bit better. And that's how you build a team for the long term. I'm optimistic. To the top.